Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Bridge, the number of tricks a bridge player is willing to contract to make. Propose a payment. Ask someone in a friendly way to do something. A formal proposal to buy at a specified price. An attempt to get something. He made a bid to gain attention. An authoritative direction or instruction to do something. Invoke upon. Bid farewell. Ask for or request earnestly. The prophet bid all people to become good persons. Make a demand, as for a card or a suit or a show of hands. Make a serious effort to attain something. His campaign bid for the attention of the poor population. Bridge, the number of tricks a bridge player is willing to contract to make. A request to be present. They came at his bidding. An authoritative direction or instruction to do something. Propose a payment. The Swiss dealer offered $2 million for the painting. Offer verbally. He offered his sympathy. Agree freely. I offered to help with the dishes, but the hostess would not hear of it. Ask someone to marry you. A usually brief attempt. Mount or put up. Offer resistance. Something offered, as a proposal or bid. Noteworthy new offerings for investors included several index funds. The verbal act of offering. A generous offer of assistance. Make available, provide. The bank offers a good deal on new mortgages. Present as an act of worship. Offer prayers to the gods. Present for acceptance or rejection. She offered us all a cold drink. Make available for sale. The stores are offering specials on sweaters this week. Make available or accessible, provide or furnish. The conference center offers a health spa. Produce or introduce on the stage. The Shakespeare Company is offering King Lear this month. Put forward for consideration. He offered his opinion. Threatened to do something. I offered to leave the committee if they did not accept my proposal. Someone who waits on or tends to or attends to the needs of another. Something that can be used as an official medium of payment. A boat for communication between ship and shore. Physically untoughened. Tender feet. Propose a payment. Hurting. The tender spot on his jaw. A formal proposal to buy at a specified price. Make tender or more tender as by marinating, pounding, or applying a tenderizer. Tenderize meat. Having or displaying warmth or affection. A tender glance. Used a boats, inclined to heel over easily under sail. Ship that usually provides supplies to other ships. Car attached to a locomotive to carry fuel and water. Easy to cut or chew. Tender beef. Given to sympathy or gentleness or sentimentality. A tender heart. Make a tender of, in legal settlements. offer or present for acceptance. Of plants, not hardy, easily killed by adverse growing condition. Tender green shoots. Young and immature. At a tender age. Ask someone in a friendly way to do something. Have as a guest. I invited them to a restaurant. Give rise to a desire by being attractive or inviting. Increase the likelihood of. Invite criticism. Request the participation or presence of. The organizers invite submissions of papers for the conference. Ask to enter. We invited the neighbors in for a cup of coffee. Express willingness to have in one's home or environs. Invite someone to one's house. Can I invite you for dinner on Sunday night? A colloquial expression for invitation. He didn't get no invite to the party. Contend against an opponent in a sport, game, or battle. Princeton plays Yale this weekend. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. She plays deaf when the news are bad. Manipulate manually or in one's mind or imagination. She played nervously with her wedding ring. A dramatic work intended for performance by actors on a stage. He wrote several plays but only one was produced on Broadway. The act using a sword, or other weapon, vigorously and skillfully. A weak and tremulous light. The play of light on the water. Gay or light-hearted recreational activity for diversion or amusement. It was all done in play. Activity by children that is guided more by imagination than by fixed rules. Freud believed in the utility of play to a small child. Consider not very seriously. She plays with the thought of moving to Tasmania. Cause to happen or to occur as a consequence. Play a joke. Replay, as a melody. She played the third movement very beautifully. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is still my play. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Stake on the outcome of an issue. She played all her money on the dark horse. An attempt to get something. They made a futile play for power. A deliberate coordinated movement requiring dexterity and skill. The runner was out on a play by the shortstop. Engage in recreational activities rather than work. Occupy oneself in a diversion. On weekends I play. Cause to emit recorded audio or video. I'll play you my favorite record. Movement or space for movement. There was too much play in the steering wheel. Behave carelessly or indifferently. The removal of constraints. They gave full play to the artist's talent. Engage in an activity as if it were a game rather than take it seriously. They played games on their opponents. The act of playing for stakes in the hope of winning, including the payment of a price for a chance to win a prize. There was heavy play at the blackjack table. Verbal wit or mockery, often at another's expense but not to be taken seriously. In games or plays or other performances, the time during which play proceeds. Rain stopped play in the fourth inning. Play a role or part. Gielgud played Hamlet. Act or have an effect in a specified way or with a specific effect or outcome. This factor played only a minor part in his decision. A preset plan of action in team sports. The coach drew up the plays for her team. A state in which action is feasible. The ball was still in play. A theatrical performance of a drama. The play lasted 2 hours. Be at play. Be engaged in playful activity. Amuse oneself in a way characteristic of children. The kids were playing outside all day. Behave in a certain way. Play safe. Be performed or presented for public viewing. What's playing in the local movie theater? Bet or wager, money. He played $20 on the new horse. Cause to move or operate freely within a bounded space. The engine has a wheel that is playing in a rack. Discharge or direct or be discharged or directed as if in a continuous stream. Play water from a hose. Emit recorded sound. The tape was playing for hours. Employ in a game or in a specific position. They played him on first base. Exhaust by allowing to pull on the line. Play a hooked fish. Make bets. Play the casinos in Trouville. Move or seem to move quickly, lightly, or irregularly. The spotlights played on the politicians. Participate in games or sport. We played hockey all afternoon. Perform music on a musical instrument. He plays the flute. Perform on a certain location. The prodigy played Carnegie Hall at the age of 16. Play on an instrument. The band played all night long. Pretend to be somebody in the framework of a game or playful activity. Let's play like I am mommy. Put a card or piece into play during a game, or act strategically as if in a card game. He is playing his cards close to his chest. Shoot or hit in a particular manner. She played a good backhand last night. Use or move. I had to play my queen. Use to one's advantage. She plays on her client's emotions. Utilization or exercise. The play of the imagination. Computer science. A line of code written as part of a computer program. Exercise authoritative control or power over. Look down on. An authoritative direction or instruction to do something. Great skillfulness and knowledge of some subject or activity. A good command of French. Make someone do something. A military unit or region under the control of a single officer. A position of highest authority. The corporation has just undergone a change in command. Availability for use. The materials at the command of the potters grew. Be in command of. The general commanded a huge army. Demand as one's due. This speaker commands a high fee. The power or authority to command. An admiral in command. An authoritative direction or instruction to do something. Matter that has been dictated and transcribed. A dictated passage. He signed and mailed his dictation without bothering to read it. Speech intended for reproduction in writing. Prefer or wish to do something. Feel or express a desire or hope concerning the future or fortune of. Usually plural, a polite expression of desire for someone's welfare. My best wishes. Invoke upon. Wish you a nice evening. An expression of some desire or inclination. I could tell that it was his wish that the guests leave. A specific feeling of desire. He got his wish. Hope for, have a wish. I wish I could go home now. Make or express a wish. I wish that Christmas were over. Order politely. Express a wish for. The particular preference that you have. It was his last wish. Ask for or request earnestly. Command solemnly. Ask for or request earnestly. Summon into action or bring into existence, often as if by magic. He conjured wild birds in the air. Engage in plotting or enter into a conspiracy, swear together. Ask for or request earnestly. Ask for or request earnestly. A dense crowd of people. To be oppressive or burdensome. Something pressed on his mind. The print media responsible for gathering and publishing news in the form of newspapers or magazines. The act of pressing, the exertion of pressure. He gave the button a press. Make strenuous pushing movements during birth to expel the baby. The state of demanding notice or attention. The press of business matters. A tall piece of furniture that provides storage space for clothes, has a door and rails or hooks for hanging clothes. A machine used for printing. Lift weights. This guy can press 300 pounds. Force or impel in an indicated direction. Squeeze or press together. She compressed her lips. A weight lift in which the barbell is lifted to shoulder height and then smoothly lifted overhead. Press and smooth with a heated iron. Press your shirts. Exert oneself continuously, vigorously, or obtrusively to gain an end or engage in a crusade for a certain cause or person. Be an advocate for. Press from a plastic. Press a record. Any machine that exerts pressure to form or shape or cut materials or extract liquids or compress solids. Ask for or request earnestly. Be urgent. This is a pressing problem. Clamp to prevent wooden rackets from warping when not in use. Create by pressing. Crowd closely. The crowds pressed along the street. Exert pressure or force to or upon. He pressed down on the boards. Place between two surfaces and apply weight or pressure. Pressed flowers. Assign a specified, usually proper name to. Make a prediction about. Tell in advance. Order, request, or command to come. She was called into the director's office. Utter a sudden loud cry. Pay a brief visit. The mayor likes to call on some of the prominent citizens. The option to buy a given stock, or stock index or commodity future, at a given price before a given date. A demand by a broker that a customer deposit enough to bring his margin up to the minimum requirement. A demand especially in the phrase, the call of duty. A telephone connection. She reported several anonymous calls. A loud utterance, often in protest or opposition. Greet, as with a prescribed form, title, or name. She calls him by first name. Demand payment of a loan. Give the calls to the dancers for a square dance. Get or try to get into communication with someone by telephone. I tried to call you all night. The characteristic sound produced by a bird. Make a demand, as for a card or a suit or a show of hands. He called his trump. A brief social visit. Senior professors' wives no longer make afternoon calls on newcomers. A demand for a show of hands in a card game. After 2 raises there was a call. An instruction that interrupts the program being executed. Pascal performs calls by simply giving the name of the routine to be executed. A request. Many calls for Christmas stories. Ascribe a quality to or give a name of a common noun that reflects a quality. He called me a bastard. A special disposition, as if from a divine source, to pursue a particular course. A visit in an official or professional capacity. The pastor's calls on his parishioners. Call a meeting. Invite or command to meet. The 1C conference was called to discuss the final solution. Challenge somebody to make good on a statement, charge with or censure for an offense. He deserves to be called on that. Challenge the sincerity or truthfulness of. Call the speaker on a question of fact. Consider or regard as being. I would not call her beautiful. Declare in the capacity of an umpire or referee. Call a runner out. Indicate a decision in regard to. Call balls and strikes behind the plate. Lure by imitating the characteristic call of an animal. Make a stop in a harbor. The ship will call in Honolulu tomorrow. Order or request or give a command for. The unions called a general strike for Sunday. Order, summon, or request for a specific duty or activity, work, role. He was already called 4 times for jury duty. Read aloud to check for omissions or absentees. Require the presentation of for redemption before maturation. Rouse somebody from sleep with a call. I was called at 5 a.m. this morning. Send a message or attempt to reach someone by radio, phone, etc. Make a signal to in order to transmit a message. Hawaii is calling. Sports, the decision made by an umpire or referee. He was ejected for protesting the call. Stop or postpone because of adverse conditions, such as bad weather. Call a football game. Utter a characteristic note or cry. Blue jays called to one another. Utter in a loud voice or announce. He called my name. Computer science, a line of code written as part of a computer program. A fact or assertion offered as evidence that something is true. A document showing credits and debits. The act of affirming or asserting or stating something. A message that is stated or declared. A communication, oral or written, setting forth particulars or facts, etc. According to his statement, he was in London on that day. A nonverbal message. A Cadillac makes a statement about who you are. Music, the presentation of a musical theme. The initial statement of the sonata. Express the need or desire for. She requested an extra bed in her room. The verbal act of requesting. A formal message requesting something that is submitted to an authority. Ask a person to do something. I requested that she type the entire manuscript. Inquire for information. I requested information from the secretary. The act of contributing to the funds of a church or charity. Something offered, as a proposal or bid. Noteworthy new offerings for investors included several index funds. The verbal act of offering. Money contributed to a religious organization. Earnest and conscientious activity intended to do or accomplish something. Made an effort to cover all the reading material. Use of physical or mental energy, hard work. He got an A for effort. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. Contributed to the war effort. A notable achievement. The book was her finest effort. Melt, fat or lard, in order to separate out impurities. Try the yak butter. Test the limits of. You are trying my patience. Make an effort or attempt. Take a sample of. Put to the test, as for its quality, or give experimental use to. Put on a garment in order to see whether it fits and looks nice. Put on trial or hear a case and sit as the judge at the trial of. Earnest and conscientious activity intended to do or accomplish something. She gave it a good try. Examine or hear evidence or a case by judicial process. Give pain or trouble to. Attempt by employing effort. We endeavor to make our customers happy. Earnest and conscientious activity intended to do or accomplish something. Wished him luck in his endeavor. A purposeful or industrious undertaking, especially one that requires effort or boldness. Attempt by employing effort. Earnest and conscientious activity intended to do or accomplish something. A purposeful or industrious undertaking, especially one that requires effort or boldness. Make an effort or attempt. The police attempted to stop the thief. Enter upon an activity or enterprise. The act of attacking. They made an attempt on his life. Earnest and conscientious activity intended to do or accomplish something. The use of language to perform some act. Express greetings upon meeting someone. React to in a certain way. The president was greeted with catcalls. Send greetings to. Express greetings upon meeting someone. Accept someone to be what is claimed or accept his power and authority. Detect with the senses. Show approval or appreciation of. Be fully aware or cognizant of. Grant credentials to. Express obligation, thanks, or gratitude for. Perceive to be the same. Express greetings upon meeting someone. Accept someone to be what is claimed or accept his power and authority. We do not recognize your gods. Detect with the senses. Show approval or appreciation of. My work is not recognized by anybody. Be fully aware or cognizant of. Grant credentials to. The regents officially recognized the new educational institution. Express obligation, thanks, or gratitude for. Perceive to be the same. Exhibit recognition for, an antigen or a substrate. Appeal or request earnestly. I pleaded with him to stop. Enter a plea, as in courts of law. She pleaded not guilty. Make an allegation in an action or other legal proceeding. Especially answer the previous pleading of the other party by denying facts therein stated or by alleging new facts. Offer as an excuse or plea. She was pleading insanity. Make an effort or attempt. She always seeks to do good in the world. Try to locate or discover, or try to establish the existence of. Go to or towards. A liquid seeks its own level. Inquire for. Seek directions from a local. The movement of a read, write head to a specific data track on a disk. Try to get or reach. Seek a position. A formal public statement. A declaration of independence. Contract bridge. The highest bid becomes the contract setting the number of tricks that the bidder must make. A formal expression by a meeting. Agreed to by a vote. A statement of taxable goods or of dutiable properties. A statement that is emphatic and explicit, spoken or written. Law. Unsworn statement that can be admitted in evidence in a legal transaction. His declaration of innocence. Become smaller or draw together. Enter into a contractual arrangement. Reduce in scope while retaining essential elements. Contract bridge. The highest bid becomes the contract setting the number of tricks that the bidder must make. Make or become more narrow or restricted. A variety of bridge in which the bidder receives points toward game only for the number of tricks he bid. Compress or concentrate. Engage by written agreement. Squeeze or press together. The spasm contracted the muscle. Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. A binding agreement between two or more persons that is enforceable by law. Make smaller. The heat contracted the woolen garment.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.